Al, it's time to go back to the wonderful world of Resident Evil CGI films.
Yay!
Everyone's favorite.
I mean, yeah, they're really good. I
They're
don't care
really
what
dumb and
anybody
good.
says. I don't care what anyone says. They're so good.
Oh boy. We got another one on tap for you today here on this week's episode of the Seasonal Anime Checkup OVA. It's a podcast where we have conversations about video games, anime, and manga.
Mhm.
Hello, I'm Jared, joined as always by Doc Al and Ladium.
Hello.
This is episode 345, and we are discussing Resident Evil Death Island.
Death Island. It's Alcatraz.
It is Alcatraz. It's The Rock, but not the Dwayne Johnson kind.
Please, it's Doy the Rock Johnson.
Sorry, Doy The Rock Johnson.
Get our canon right.
Yes. This is a sequel to the 2017 fantastic film Resident Evil Vendetta,
Beautiful, beautiful film.
the fifth CG Resident Evil thing after 2021's Resident Evil Infinite Darkness. And everyone's here.
Everyone's here.
On The Rock. We got beefy Chris Redfield
Mhm.
in a Hawaiian shirt for a few seconds.
For a few
We
seconds.
got Claire Redfield not being a dummy
For once.
for once. We got Rebecca
Mhm.
hanging out. We got
Making
rookie
vaccines
rookie cop Leon S. Kennedy
with a motorcycle.
with a motorcycle, and 1998's Jill Valentine's here
With a cardigan for 5 seconds.
with a cardigan for 5 seconds.
Everyone's here. All our pro tags are here.
Everyone's here. It's a fun time.
It's really good.
The first time we've seen everyone team up together,
Mm-hmm.
which is a nice little fun thing to have happen.
First same time we've seen Chris and Claire together since Code Veronica.
Uh-huh.
Which is wild that this is where we get that reunion.
Yeah, of course. We get Matt Mercer as Leon again, which is always a fun time.
Oh, I was so excited about that. He nailed it.
Does
He
a
did
great
such a good
job.
job.
But yeah, this is, of course, takes place after Resident Evil 6, after Vendetta, but is still prior to 7.
Mm-hmm.
Which
And also, like, addresses stuff that happened in 5.
Yeah, which is wild.
It's wild.
I definitely was not expecting Resident Evil 5 story progression in this movie, but here we are.
No, I definitely was not, but that is what we got, and I ain't even mad.
I was kind of surprised. I thought we might get like a tie-in to 7 in this film,
Mm-hmm.
but that is not what happens in the slightest.
Nope.
Like, I was expecting there to be like a throwaway line from like Chris being like, I'm gonna make a new umbrella or something, or I'm gonna go to the bayou or something of that nature, but it's just like, nah, they all ride off into the sunset.
Complain about prison tours.
And complain about prison tours. They're stinky.
They suck.
Real stinky. Also, I have to make a correction from when we were talking while we were watching this film.
Okay.
We were talking because there is a scene we'll get to later on where Leon and Jill are hanging out together,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, "Is this the first time we've seen Leon and Jill together?" And I think I said that they were in Revelations together, but that is not true. That is Chris and Jill.
Chris and Jill.
They have never been together in a game.
How did they even know each other then?
Well, look, they know Chris and Claire,
Intelligence and all
and
that
Rebecca.
stuff.
Yeah, so like they would have to know of each other.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, and also like he was in Raccoon City Police Department, and he probably saw her in there too.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
She was part of that.
Yeah, so like they would definitely be aware of each other, even though they have not like interacted on screen at any point in the series so far, which is again very wild to think about.
It's wild, and I like that he was just like, "Oh, hey, what up? Let's just hang." Like, Leon
let me
would.
teach you about liquors.
This version of Leon would anyway. That's for sure.
Is
Is this the first time we've seen liquor since too?
Maybe.
I don't remember.
Potentially.
I interrupted you. What were you saying?
I don't remember.
Talking about Jill and Leon and liquors and introducing her to liquor. Oh God, that sounds terrible.
He's gonna introduce her to the liquors. I mean, he's the one that's experienced with them.
We're gonna move on from that.
But yeah, there's a bunch of good Leon S. Kennedy one-liners in this film, which is exactly what you need.
It's exactly what you need. I mean, like, the part where he wrecks his motorcycle was like, oh, I love that thing. Or, I love that motorcycle. I was like, yeah.
So good.
It's very good. There's so many good Leon lines in this.
Yeah.
And Matt Mercer he sells it.
He's very good at Leon.
He's very good at Leon. Especially like this version of Leon.
Yes.
Like somewhat jaded, mostly jaded, but also just like so done version of him. He's like, you know what? I've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing this for most of my life at this point. Like, this is what you get from me.
Nearly 20 years by this point.
Yeah, wow.
That's how it would be. Rookie Cop, of course. So Leon S. Kennedy.
Yep.
We begin this movie in 1998, of course.
Talking about crabs in San Francisco.
Yeah, who were like, what's going on?
It's like, is San Francisco known for its crab? Because I mean, I live in this area and I've never heard of San Francisco being known for its crab. But this man was real jazzed about San Francisco and crab.
Apparently so. We get a little bit of Umbrella going into Raccoon City during the, the bad times in 1998.
During the Raccoon City incident in 1998,
yes.
Yep.
And these Umbrella Corporation soldiers are going in to, do what they were going to do. Take people out.
Yep.
We get centered around two characters, JJ and Dylan, whose unit gets all bitten up by zombies, and they get the call like, hey, you got to take care of them. Like, no survivors if they're bitten. No. Execute them with extreme prejudice.
Extreme prejudice.
Extreme.
Just be super prejudiced.
Yeah, that's how that works.
Yep. But don't say slurs.
No.
That's bad.
It turns out things go bad for them.
What? Who could have seen that coming?
Who could have seen that coming? We transport back to 2015, where in San Francisco, Leon S. Kennedy's on a motorcycle, and he's trying to find this doctor who's been in custody but got taken by terrorists, and then he gets into a motorcycle chase with a lady.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing how we had that great motorcycle scene in Vendetta, and they immediately start off this film with another motorcycle scene.
Yep.
Really
I was
good.
so jazzed. I was like, all right, they know what we're looking for here. They know what this is about.
Mm-hmm.
Got some sweet motorcycle tricks that happen.
Yep.
You lose a wheel Maria loses a wheel at one point and then like
There's
hops
a wheelie
on
over a ramp that was a car transporter.
Oh God, I'm telling you, it's like one of my worst nightmares. It's those car transporters.
Mm-hmm.
She like throws her crotch at Leon at one point. But, it's not the crotch he's interested in, so he gets rid of it.
And then his bike gets destroyed. He's very sad, just laying in the middle of like the freeway, being like, I really like that bike.
He's standing in the middle of it. I'm like, dang. Bro, you gotta go. Like, you can't stand in the middle of the highway here. Like, it's dangerous. They're gonna hit you. Yeah, he's sad boy hours about that bike.
It's very funny.
Very good.
We get a scene of Jill doing a home invasion.
Oh right, Jill in the home invasion.
Where she finds a dead person, then an infected attacks her, and she slams it through a glass table and shoots it and breaks it.
That was actually a pretty cool scene.
That was pretty good. And then Chris and SWAT team show up and just like, what are you doing? Stop doing these things alone. What are you doing?
I get it, but also no.
Stop it.
Stop.
Yeah, this is where we get our Resident Evil 5 story progression, where Chris is worried about Jill because Jill is still obviously dealing with the after effects of being brainwashed by Wesker and everything, and he's just like, I don't want to make sure you're not like rushing into things and everything. And Rebecca's like, she wants to get out in the field, let her do things. And Jill's also like, let me do things.
I'm ready.
Let me shoot my gun in the firing range and be sad or make you sad while you just don't hold your hands up to your ears.
He has no ear protection. She just like blap, 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 blap.
It's funny when he goes in there the first time, he just walks in and covers his ears like, hello.
Hello. And then like they get some water that nobody drinks and then she just keeps shooting to get him to go away.
Yep. Again, it's also funny that they just reused the RE3 remake Jill model for this film.
Yes. Yes.
So she looks the exact same as she did in 1998, even though we definitely know she changed appearances in Resident Evil 5 for sure.
Yep. Yep.
And now she's back to that exact same hairstyle and clothing.
Yep. The hair color's back to normal. The clothing is the stupid pants. I can't get over those stupid pants. I don't understand those pants.
It's funny.
They're like unbuttoned and rolled at the top, and it's like, what? Do your pants not fit you, Jill? Is it because you're wearing the same pants you wore in 1998? And it's 2015 now? And maybe you don't wear the same size pants? I don't know. Like,
it's called
who
fashion.
can say? Is it called fashion?
Yeah, you pair that with a giant cardigan and you're good.
You know what is called fashion? Chris wearing his Hawaiian shirt.
It's true.
Yeah, that's fashion right there.
So yeah, Chris and everyone learns about there's a mutated version of the T virus where people are dying after being infected by it, but like they are not getting infected by other people essentially.
You don't have to have a bite to get infected.
Yeah. So that's the weird thing in this film. And then they learn also that a bunch of people who got infected by this had been to Alcatraz recently. So it's time to head to The Rock.
Alcatraz.
Which this is where we get, vacation style Chris Redfield in his Hawaiian shirt. Jill is in her long cardigan, and Claire looks like Claire.
Claire's just Claire.
Yeah, Claire's also there, by the way.
Yeah. And again, they don't even address it that we were talking about they've probably seen each other since, but like they don't make it into a big deal that Chris and Claire are together again.
It's like, oh, what's up? Hey.
Oh, also there's a dead whale at one point that they're like,
yeah,
this
that's why
isn't
Claire's there, because she goes to like look at a big dead whale. They got a chunk bit out of it.
And she's like,
it also had parts of that virus in it as well.
Yes. And she says that it's not a shark, which gave me hope, but my hope was shattered.
It's a big fish.
It is a big fish.
Exactly shark-like, but
it's pretty sharky. But I
shark
was
adjacent.
Fine because I knew when to look away.
Yeah.
And there's only like 5 seconds that might be questionable anyway.
Yeah.
And we also got that nerd on the beach that's like, all right, I guess, why are you here?
Yeah, and then he's never seen again.
Never seen again. Yeah, they're all at Alcatraz.
Yep. We also get introduced to our villain who has the one lady with him from the last movie. Maria. And he likes to play Russian roulette with people that's working for him and himself.
Mm-hmm. He also taps things with his cane a lot.
Yes, because he likes to walk with the cane. Because he has to. Not
that
he wants to. He kind of has to.
He kind of has to. I don't think that's a choice.
But yeah, the gang gets a nice little tour of Alcatraz, and there's an influencer in there filming a YouTube video for fun. And then, oh no, a bunch of infected show up, and we got to fight.
He says to like and subscribe.
He does.
And then he turns into a zombo.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people do, and they're like, this is weird. They're just turning, and they're like not being bitten or anything. It's real strange. There's a point where Chris is like up on a second level on like hanging off of like the edge, pulling people up with one arm in his Hawaiian shirt.
It's one of my favorite parts of the movie is he's just like one arm hanging on the railing, pulling people up with his other arm. I'm like, beefy Chris Redfield using that beef.
And then his Hawaiian shirt gets ripped off him, and it's like, no. Terrible. Worst part of the film. It's real bad.
That zombie deserved to die because it took his Hawaiian shirt away.
And then they all get split up, except Chris and Claire are still in like the same area, but Jill goes down to like a lower level essentially, and she loses her gun. She has a knife.
She's knifing a bunch of zombies and prison guard.
Yeah. Doing a lot of that stuff. Chris and Claire run into a dude who's in a little cabinet, yeah, and free him. Cabinet. Make sure he gets out, and he gets a little scratch, and after he calls Claire a terrorist because she works for TerraSave. It's like, you're a terrorist. He's just like, no, stop it. And Chris is like, shut up, both of you. We're working here.
And she doctors him up after he does get a scratch, and he's like,
He's
"Why
like,
would you do
"Ooh."
that after I called you a terrorist?" And you're like, "Because it's what I do."
That's what I do. Jill hangs down in the sewers,
Mm-hmm.
just trying to be very stealthy and everything, and then she runs into someone. And they get into a little fisticuffs, and then they're like, Leon, Jill,
Oh, hey, what
what
are
are
you
you
doing
doing here?
Funny meeting you in the
Yeah,
sewers of Alcatraz.
because Jill's like, why are you here? And Leon's like, oh, like I'm working on a case and I had to come here. And Jill's kind of like, yeah, me too. Weirdly enough.
I'm like,
And
well,
then
they're probably connected.
the liquors show up and go after them. And liquor expert Leon S. Kennedy, of course, is
Mm-hmm.
knows how to deal with liquors, where you just stay still and keep quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And Jill accidentally knocks over like a little gas container, and it knocks over something else, and the liquors are like, rah!
Nah.
So they gotta take care of them a lot. They're getting dragged by the tongues.
Yep.
Get some cool
We
action scenes here.
we get one of my favorite parts in this where she's like, "How many are there?" And then he like turns the corner and like blows up a gas can. And he's like, "0."
Because they get at first, he's like, there's no time to count, and then they get around the corner and he blows them up, and he's like, 0. And she's like, what? He's like, you asked how many's there, how many's left, and there's 0.
It's a really good line.
It's really good. Oh,
Really good.
thank you, rookie cop Leon S. Kennedy.
Got that sass full on.
Mm-hmm. So they continue down through the sewers. Chris and Claire get a little pokey, and that takes them out
Mm-hmm.
from a strange thing. Leon and Jill find like this whole big munitions area that supposedly was a thing underneath Alcatraz at one point, because we get history lessons with Leon S. Kennedy.
Yeah. History buff Leon S. Kennedy.
Yeah. So they find a bunch of stuff there, and then
Like an incubator and
yeah,
also munitions.
munitions and a bunch of floating liquors,
Mm-hmm.
and those two eventually split up for reasons I don't remember why.
Did they split up?
Oh no, they come back. You're right. No, right. They eventually they get called back. That's why. They
Because
get
they
called
find
back
out that
to
like
the
Chris and Claire got.
yes. They get called back to like the first floor, and like the baddie's like, hey, I got your stuff. Your stuff being Chris and Claire and this other guy. So
Also,
they,
they're not looking too hot. Ha ha ha. Oh wait, Leon got the hit too. Ha ha ha.
yeah, he gets the hit once they go back upstairs. Our main baddie reveals himself, and he's one of the dudes from the beginning of the movie, one of the Umbrella guys. He had to kill his friend because he got bit and turned and was very upset about it, and that's why he stamps his cane, because that's how he bashed this dude's head in, essentially.
Yep.
And now he wants to destroy the world with his micro robotic drone parasites that infect people with the virus.
Looks like a mosquito.
That's how this all works, and everyone's like, "You're very dumb."
I knew that it was him because the subtitles spoiled it for me.
Yes.
But yeah, he's like, I want Jill to be the one that has to kill all of you because you're infected. You have to feel the pain that I went through. And they're like, what?
Bruh.
Huh? And they're like, well, look, Claire's about to turn. She's gonna to rip the guts out of that guy in there. And they're like,
Also, that guy is the one that Leon's been looking for.
yeah. Oops. He gave them a fake name.
Goops. So yeah, Jill doesn't do that, and then Dylan shoots the guy that was with Claire in the same cell. And he's like, "Oh, you ran out of time, so I get to shoot him."
Whee!
Pew. I'm gonna go now. See you later.
Also, Rebecca's on the way with vaccines.
So there's a scene where she's like, she makes the vaccines. It's like, I hope I made enough. She made enough. It was fine.
Yeah, I thought it was actually gonna be something. It was not something. She had enough. It was totally fine. I thought it was going to be a situation of like, oh no, something bad has to happen. We have to figure out how to get another one. Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
No, the worst thing that happens to Rebecca is that everybody gets eaten by the shark.
Yep.
Except for her.
She's fine. Jill runs off to go try and fix things, and the guy with Claire's like, why are you all like not panicking? We're about to die. And they're all like, Jill's on the case.
Yeah, we got
It's
Jill.
fine.
We got Jill.
This dude gives Claire a back door into the network he made, which is essentially what's being used in this specific scenario to help them because he got screwed over in this deal here. So there's that. And then Rebecca runs in and is like, I got here. Let me give you a shot. She gives it to Leon, and Leon immediately just runs off. And then eventually she gives it to Chris and Claire, and they're like, oh, wow, we feel better already.
Yay, this thing works fast.
It's real nice. Leon goes and fights Maria, who's, she wants to get revenge for her father's death. And
He's getting his kicked at first.
Leon gets just beat up the whole time, still making snarky one-liners.
Yep. True Leon fashion.
Yep. And then he just wins by pushing her into like a broken pipe, and it just impales her.
Yeah, so the whole time this fight was going on, you're like, oh, you got to do this to get out of this move, and you got to do this to get out of this move. You got to do this to get out of this move. And I'm like, whoa, Jared knows a lot about combat.
She uses a lot of like jujitsu style submissions and everything in her fighting style.
So told him to answer the phone at one point.
Answer the phone.
But yeah, he just like kicks, and then like you hear a really terrible noise, and you're like, oh, that didn't sound good. And then it pans over to her, and yeah, she's got a pipe coming out of her chest, and then she does the dumb thing of like removing it from herself, which you're not supposed to do.
I mean, I think she was kind of boned anyway, so
yeah, I mean, it basically went through like her heart region. She was kind of screwed, but maybe don't remove it though.
And then Leon's like, now you could be with your dad.
What, Leon? As if he like actually was winning that fight.
Yeah, he was not.
He was not winning that fight.
Lucky.
He got lucky that like weird pipe was there.
Jill is after pursuing Dylan, who then injects himself with a bunch of the virus and then gets eaten by the big fish.
Yes.
Ow.
Who came in the gate, the floodgates.
He's like, hello, I'm a big fish.
Hello.
And then we get everyone showing up in the munitions area.
Except for Rebecca and Claire, who go to try and...
Well, they're there at first, and then eventually they get told to go
figure it out.
Do network stuff. But yeah, we get the scene with all of them with their pistols out trying to shoot reimagined, or not reimagined, but like redone version of Dylan, who's now fused with the big fish and is now a giant bioweapon, of course, because that's, if you're a Resident Evil villain, that's what you got. That's your fate.
I do love that like slow-mo bullet time scene where like he's trying to swipe them all away and they're just like doing all kinds of weird to not get hit. It's so
real good.
It's so good. God, I love that part.
Also, do you like Dylan's like horse hooves?
Why does he have like an elephant foot?
I don't know. It's real funny.
It's like, you fused with a shark, my guy. Where did you get that?
It's real good.
He's got his little human teeth.
Yeah, that's his only human nature. So they all try and like take this thing down. They're all like just finding weapons and stuff that they can use.
It's so funny. There's like rocket launchers and grenade launchers and like machine guns. That one part where like Chris just has the gun and the I forget what the bullet things are called, where it's just like feeding into the gun.
Yeah, he just pulled it like.
It's no big deal. It's like, oh my God,
like, all
Chris.
Right.
Oh man, and Leon's the vehicle man.
He's just driving a bunch of cars around. It's real good.
Some of them very leisurely driving.
Yeah.
Just like,
yeah, but they really make it like a big Resident Evil final boss encounter where it's like, all right, here's all the big weapons.
Here's a plasma gun.
Yeah, Jill just finds a plasma gun. It's like, all right, let me shoot him with this. And then Leon and Chris get into a car that has a mounted turret in the back of it. And they're like, all right, we'll drag it over here.
Whee!
And they try and do that, and it still doesn't work.
Nope.
Claire and Rebecca find their way into the network. They gain control of all the drones, and then Rebecca's like, what if we take control of these drones and do something? Interesting.
It's like, are we gonna like overload him? What are we doing?
Jill, Chris, and Leon come up with a new plan, and Jill's going to like distract the Dylan bioweapon. They're going to squish it with the gate. Essentially, that's what they're going to try to do. So she's just like running, and they're driving along on the other side.
And somehow they're going at the same
Yeah,
speed.
she's got a bag with her, and
I
then
don't remember
like
what the bag was even for.
I think it was like explosives or something, or maybe like
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Explosives.
something. Chris and Leon pull out this giant rocket launcher, and they're like, "Do we know how to use this?" Like, yeah, of course. And then Chris is just like being like kind of like the aim tripod for it, while Leon aims and shoots it. It's
That's
really
the
goofy.
funniest thing is that Chris is just seriously the tripod
He's
for
like,
it. He's just
"All right,
holding
lower,
it.
Lower. All right, we're good.
So funny.
Jill tries to loop that bag around in the mouth, but gets caught on it. Has to like cut her way out, but is able to get free, and it goes kaboom.
Also, she's underwater at that point.
She's underwater. He gets squished and kabooms. They also take a bunch of the drones and just infect him even more with all the virus.
And then he's super dead.
And then he gets
I forget who actually said he's
and
super
dead,
but it was a good line.
and
it might
everyone's
have been
good.
Jill.
Also, Jill like gets out of the water and her hair's perfectly dry.
Yeah, it's super dry too. And then they're all just waiting outside for BSA to show up and like pick them up, which is where we get the line about the prison tours suck.
Leon's like, you know what I think about this? You know what I think about prison tours? They suck.
They suck.
And then everyone has like a one-liner about what happened here.
Yeah, it's really good. Really good.
Jill has earned Chris's respect now, and she can go on her own,
Mm-hmm.
do her own thing, and they're all just like hanging out and chilling as the sun rises or sets. I don't know, one or the other.
One or the other.
No, it has to be rises because when Rebecca comes in, it's dark.
Oh, you're right. You're right. It was dark then.
But yeah, they wait for the helicopters to come in. That's how the movie ends.
What a good time.
I think plot wise, it was kind of eh.
I mean, like, I didn't
But-
expect the plot to be good.
No, of course not. But like, it definitely made up for it in terms of just dumb moments, dumb one-liners, and just ridiculous action moments. But that's what I'm here for.
Right. If nothing else, like that final scene with them finding all this stupid weaponry was
it's
like
so good.
it was worth it right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like the plots of these aren't really like
Nah.
phenomenal to begin with.
Nah.
But like, is that what we're here for? No,
Nah.
not really.
We're here for the dumb,
Exactly.
and that's what we get.
And you know what? They delivered.
Mm-hmm. I think I would still put Vendetta over it because I think Vendetta has way more dumb in it.
Yes.
Like there's some peak dumb in Vendetta, but
Yes,
there's
I
also some
agree.
really good dumb in this movie as well.
Out of the animated films, I would say that this is my number 2 now.
Yeah.
Because like the ones before that were good. They were fine.
They didn't lean into like the ridiculousness until Vendetta.
Right. Vendetta's like, all right, we know why you're here. And we're like, yeah, you know what? You do know why we're here. Thank you. And then this one leaned heavily into that too. Just not quite as hard as Vendetta.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you know, we got all the pro tags. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a fun little thing.
And Matt Mercer with the Leon one-liners, peak.
Mm-hmm.
Peak. Glad they got him back for that.
Yeah, I was very happy as well. So I think he does a good job of being like this version, like we said earlier, of Leon.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, fun time. By the way, this was directed by the person who did the Infinite Darkness miniseries,
Oh, okay.
and was written by the same dude who wrote Vendetta.
That tracks.
Yeah.
I wonder why they picked Alcatraz.
Famous American prison.
Yeah. I mean, that's one thing is that we're like, yes, something that is well known for people escaping from
The Rock.
Alcatraz.
And then The Rock showed up at the end and was trying to fish in that armory and yelled out, "We might as well catch a mutated freak fish because you're such a candy piece of trash."
Oh my God. Dwayne The Rock Johnson, please. I'm looking at the critical reception section of this, and it's funny.
Yeah.
They're like, what does it mean, lack out that whole talking thing? What does that mean?
I don't know.
Because the talking is great.
Did you hear Leon's one-liners?
Did you hear that? I mean, like, Dylan is talking kind of not good, but like, Did you hear Leon? Very good. I don't even know who Bloody Disgusting is, but they gave it a
They're
3 out
like
of 5.
I think they're like a horror focused site.
Ah, that tracks. That tracks. Outshines the last 3 outings. Whoa. High praise. High praise.
I don't know. Have you seen Vendetta?
I mean, have you seen Vendetta? Vendetta's real good. At least we got another motorcycle scene, right?
Yes.
That's all we really need is Leon
Chris
on a
and Leon
motorcycle.
being boys.
Being boys, the bros. I always like when they have bro moments. Sorry, I just hit my mic.
It's real good.
It's real good.
This was a fun film.
I very much enjoyed it, and I'm really glad that we got to see this. And I'm really glad that the shark moments were like
Minimal.
very minimal, and I was able to watch it fine.
Yeah, again, like there was like 5 seconds I think that would have been bad for you, and other than that, it was pretty much okay.
Yeah, I mean, like I saw the moment like where it had the feller in its mouth and the grenade happened, but like I didn't see the bite moment, so I was fine.
There wasn't even a bite moment, I think, for that. It was just like
Oh.
he just showed up and was like, "Arr, look at me, I'm in your mouth."
Oh, okay. Well, then that's fine. And then
The bite moment was when he goes to eat Dylan.
okay,
He's
and I
like,
didn't watch.
which is just him opening his mouth going, and that's it.
I didn't watch that because
Yeah.
I knew it was coming. I was like, nope, nope, nope.
So yeah, especially because they showed that in the trailer, so we were like, oh, is that going to be a big thing? And then it turns out not really.
No, not really.
Not really.
I was very concerned about it, but turns out that it was not an impossible film for me to watch because minimal shark behaviors.
It's pretty good.
Although we do get elephant horsefoot for
Which
some
is
reason
very funny.
out of nowhere.
I hope they continue making these films because they are so much fun. They're so
They're so
dumb
much
and
fun.
good.
I love it. They just lean so hard into like the dumb elements of Resident Evil, and I love
yeah, just
it.
continue making them and try and somehow continue it into the canon of Resident Evil 7. Like, I just want to see how you do that. Explain to me how Chris gets skinny and then beefy again.
Please explain that, and also keep hiring Matt Mercer.
Yeah, 100%.
He's so good at this.
But yeah, that's Resident Evil Death Island.
It's very good. You should watch it, my friends.
It's real fun.
Real fun. Good time. Good time.
Good times. That's going to do it for us this week.
Mm-hmm.
So if you'd like more from us, head on over to seasonalanimecheckup.com or sac.cool, where you can find past episodes of this podcast and other podcasts like Jared Now Watch. You can also find columns and reviews on the site as well. If you like more from Ann Ladium, go to annladium.com. She's got columns and reviews. You can follow us on Twitter and TikTok at Anime Checkup. You can buy our books, One Shiny Moment, a critical analysis of Love, Life, Sunshine, Hot Tubs, and Pac-Man on Amazon.com. You can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/SACOVA. Buy us a slice of pizza, get access to unedited versions of the podcast early, and a whole wealth of bonus content as well.
Mm-hmm.
Next week, I suppose we should see what that Mario movie's about.
Yeah, it's coming out so that we can watch it.
So I guess we'll talk about that. Wahoo!
Wahoo! My name is Chris Pratt?
Mm-hmm.
Crispy Rat. I couldn't remember his name.
Yep, that's him. Crispy Rat.
Crispy Rat.